Hey, good morning, people. How we doing today? We have Google earnings that posted yesterday, last night. It is October 30th. It's Wednesday. Tomorrow's the last day of October as we get ready to wrap up a spooky month. It was an interesting trading month overall. And we're wrapping it up with massive tech earnings that are coming out, specifically around the Mag 7 stocks, which, as you guys have known, as you may have known based on what I've been talking about for the last few weeks slash months, they've been lagging very, very drastically. And with that lag, with that lag overall, the overall market, right, the tech side of things hasn't been pumping, right, super aggressively, and we've seen some capped upside in the S&P as well. Now, with big tech earnings coming out, especially with yesterday's bid going into the close, there seems to be some kind of anticipated movement to the upside or beats in big tech. Now, naturally, markets are down a little here pre-market. We'll take a look at that for the futures, but overall, Google is starting things on the right foot with the larger of the earnings components of this week, or I should say of yesterday, because multiple stocks reported earnings yesterday, but Google was the main face, the front driver, and then today after the bell, we've got even more. Today after the bell, what is it? I keep forgetting. Is it Amazon? Amazon is tomorrow. Who is today? Microsoft? Microsoft, yes, Microsoft, and I believe Meta is today as well. But as you can see, as we're kind of flipping through these, pretty much all of big tech, or Meta's at new all-time highs actually. So all of big tech here is gapping up and moving to the upside on the back of this Google rally. Google's up about $10 here pre-market. Oh, excuse me. And with tech was like the main component of the upside momentum yesterday. The overall tech market in the tech sector was one of two sectors that actually closed green on yesterday's session. The other 9 out of the 11 closed red. So interestingly enough, we're getting money flowing back into big tech and away from other names, which is that underweight coming back into fruition. Now, Alphabet or Google, we're up about 6% or something after the earnings beat expectations. Revenue in its cloud division rose 35% year over year to $11.35 billion. And the management touted that a virtuous cycle and company's full stack of AI products is creating at scale with Google's billions of users. So StockTwits users remain extremely bullish overall on Google. Now, I don't know if that's really telling of anything. It's more retail sentiment. But realistically, I've been bullish on Google for a while. Excuse me. I feel like there's still upside in big tech to be had. So, what's going on? So that's a big concept right now. I think that we're in big tech is starting to come back in the driver's seat. Down here, like I've said, I think earlier on this week, is like a composition of a market-weighted index that's based on the Mag 7 stocks. So you can see that we're still not at all-time highs, but we are creeping up ever so slightly, especially with this most recent Google beat. So I feel like today, excuse me. What is going on? I feel like today, if big tech catches another bid, we could probably be in for expected beats across the board in like Microsoft and Meta that come out. Now, one of the I'm so sorry, I cannot clear my throat. Oh my god. So, one of the things in big tech, right, AMD down a significant amount here after hours, after reported earnings, right, down about 7% after the semiconductor giant's earnings. That met expectations with revenues slightly beating, but data center business revenues doubled for the second straight quarter. However, right, not but from the beginning, but however, overall revenue guidance only met the expectations, which disappointed apparently some investors. Now, outside of its AI chip business, its gaming and embedded business weakness continues, while its client segment, including PC sales, rebounded 23% year over year. Now, the sentiment on the retail side remains extremely bullish on this, which again, right, I don't like when that is the case. realistically, so that and big tech is extremely bullish on the retail side, which isn't super favorable for the continuation, but you can see that Nvidia kind of pulled back slightly after that news was brought out from AMD with that earnings miss. So some of these well, I guess not some, but like this big tech name kind of influencing Nvidia, which earnings come out on November 20th, is kind of pulling things back, and there's a little shy of momentum in the overall market as the Nasdaq and the S&P are both down from the overnight highs and yesterday's highs pretty drastically, I might add to that. Now, there was a plethora of other earnings overall, but I think that big tech is just going to take the week in the market by storm these coming days. That's mainly what I'll be looking at. Oh my god, good morning everyone, but man, I can't even talk. But I think there's still a lot of work to do. Google is just but one name, so it does depend on how the other ones stack up as well. We'll see the expectations because, like I said yesterday, one of the main drivers and one of the main aspects is how this AI is progressing rather than just saying AI thousands of times. But so far, Google is doing pretty solid, and the fact that we're starting to see momentum and money start flowing into tech a little more aggressively, right, that's giving us more of an indication that realistically we are going to see tech climb from underweight back to being heavier, which can lead into a rally over the coming weeks, months, and into the end of the year. Now, a very drastic downside sell move right now is shaping up here pre-market in these markets. The S&P 500 futures, we failed just above this mid-80 little auction area, and what's happening right now is we're coming down towards the end of the low value auction from yesterday's session, where the start of it is realistically, so that mid-50 area, that's a huge component that I'll be watching. Yesterday there was a pretty aggressive bid after a lot of people got trapped into the lows of day, and that turned into pretty much just like a solid bid throughout the day. Now, I'm not saying that we have to have a similar day like today, but the main pivot still remains this 53-55 area on the S&P, where that's where that volume kind of drops off, with the expectation that heavy buying is to try to come into that region, especially if we start bidding above that 70, where we had a little bit of a sell imbalance most recently here pre-market. So tech has slid a lot as well, right? Nasdaq is down pretty significantly, so I'm not saying that we sell all rallies in ES and in Nasdaq, but if we start breaking this 55 area on the S&P, I think that is kind of the final bout where the sell side is most likely going to take control. Now, Nasdaq did a very interesting thing yesterday. It completed an auction, an unfinished low volume auction from months ago. So we completed that around 7:30, right? That was the top area, and then we're moving into some kind of like weird little balance over here that has a little divot at 780, which was the failure from the overnight, and we're down now about 140 points, let's say. So realistically, what's going on here, yeah, we failed back under that 730, but we kind of have like a last final area where the buying, in my opinion, can appear again, which is between 600 and 620. I think that could be a spark for the buy side and big tech to kind of come back into things, come back into the swing of things and try to hold these guys out. So that's a huge factor that I'll be watching today. I'm not fully admitting defeat on the buy side just yet. Those are the two key areas on the S&P and the Nasdaq to watch as we go forth. That what is it called? That 55-ish area on the S&P and about like 620, 600 on the Nasdaq. If those keel over and we just get an aggressive offer, fine, so be it. But there's a pretty high probability the first move in the morning session is most likely going to be some kind of attempted bid, realistically. So it's something to consider as we continue on this frivolous bid amidst pretty powerful big tech earnings. So let's see how this day shapes up. I would say probably a little more mundane, if you will, until we get those big tech earnings that come out after the bell. So let's open up our live trading room. I'll see you guys in there. Check out community.tradeproacademy.com for our open Discord, and we shall chat tomorrow, and we'll take a look at how Microsoft did, right? Microsoft is one of those laggards like Google, not lagging so much anymore, are we? So I hope you guys have a great trading day, right? Take it slow, take it easy, and let's